and thank you to our hosts, the Dover Community Association, for putting on this event. Used to be, when I started doing these many years ago, that we would have a ton of forums in every ward for municipal elections, and that seems to be less and less the case now, so very glad that Dover was able to step up and provide one here for the good people of Ward 9. A note to the candidates before we get started. You might notice how far away the mic is from my mouth, and people can still more or less hear me. Can you hear me in the back? Beautiful. Don't get too close. It just sounds terrible. All right. So with that said, my name is Joey Oberhoffner. As promised, I'll be your facilitator this evening, as well as your party host and your Ayatollah of rock and rolla. In the spirit of reconciliation, we do acknowledge this forum is taking place on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot, Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai, the Tsuut'ina, Sarsi, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, the Métis Nation Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. We thank them for their hospitality. As Lorraine mentioned, this is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. I see a lot of folks wearing orange out there. It's important for us all to consider that before we reconcile, we must have the bravery to face the truth and tell the truth. Now, truth can be hard. It can be unpopular. It can make us feel bad. But and here's something you don't often hear at political events, especially these days. Truth matters. Okay? It matters more than anybody's hurt feelings or message discipline or electoral success or the party line. I hope that all of us in this room tonight can spend some time asking ourselves to be brave enough to seek truth. Now, we're going to put that into practice right now. Show of hands, truthfully. How many people in this room are undecided voters? Okay, so candidates, that is who is up for grabs tonight. Okay? Everybody else, we're very happy that you're here. We're not talking to you. You've already decided. At this time, I'd like you to please remove your hats, rise if you're able, and join in the singing of our national anthem. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you very much, everyone. That sounded wonderful, and for those of you who were a little rusty, I do teach singing. All right. Now, before we get too far into tonight's proceedings, I want to have a very serious discussion with everybody here. Elections matter. They're important and they're serious business, and we all need to treat them that way. If you hear from a candidate tonight with whom you agree, please feel free to applaud. However, and this is important, this is not WrestleMania. We're not going to scream. We're not going to start chanting somebody's name or slogans or waving our campaign signs around. Okay? Anybody who starts doing that will be asked to leave. We're also not going to start yelling at somebody if we hear something we disagree with. This is adult business, and we're going to conduct it like adults are supposed to. If you hear something from a candidate tonight that you don't agree with, the adult thing to do is not to stand up and start arguing or shouting. The adult thing is this: don't vote for them. Period. Please applaud if you understand this expectation. Thank you very much. Now that we've discussed what tonight won't be, let's discuss what tonight will be. Tonight's format will be as follows. Each candidate will be in an order that was determined by random draw and a random number generator, thank goodness for ChatGPT, a few minutes ago, and they will then have 2 minutes to make an opening statement. We'll then move on to a series of questions decided upon before this forum by the organizers and myself. Following this, the candidates will answer a series of questions submitted by you, the voting public, on these handy-dandy cards that you've been handed. Okay. When you are done with your question, please hold it up and one of our volunteers will be by to collect it and bring it to me. Please keep your questions broad enough that all the candidates can answer them, right? Asking Mr. Din about his 5 kids isn't going to be a question that Mr. Clark can necessarily answer, given that Mr. Clark is not, in fact, I have it on good authority, raising Mr. Din's kids. Each candidate will have a chance to respond to each question, and the order of response will rotate through the candidates to keep things fair. Again, random number generator. So, after being asked a question, candidates will have 1 minute in which to respond. And after all the questions have been asked, both mine and yours, candidates will have 1 minute each to give closing statements in the reverse order of the opening. Now, in order to give candidates some hard choices tonight, and so we can see how they do at handling a budget when the pressure's on, we also have some 90-second, or some 30-second chips. Now, this may look to you to be a chocolate coin, but I assure you it's much more valuable than that. Now, candidates, you do have the freedom to decide to eat those, or give them to your kids, or throw them out into the audience. However, we've all heard the expression, time is money. In this forum, money is time. If you feel you need more time to answer a question, or you want to add something at the end of a round, you can simply take one of your coins, drop it into the plastic tray on your table, and that will buy you 30 seconds. Everybody clear on that? You can only cash in 1 chip per question. You cannot use them in your opening or closing statement. And those 3 have to last you the entire forum. No deficits allowed. All right. With all of that said, let's meet each of our candidates. Starting with an opening statement from Ms. Parangao Do.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting us here today. Good evening. My name is Shirley Parungodu. I am running to be your councillor in Ward 9. I am not a politician. I am a community member. Just like you, I live here, face the same challenge. And I share the same hopes for a better community. I choose to run because I believe our concerns deserve a real answer. Our struggle deserves real solutions. And our community deserves progress. I don't believe in the promises without actions. My commitment is to listen, to work hard, and make sure that change we talk actually happen. I am here to serve, not for the politics, but for people. And together, we can build the community we all want to see. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, that was not the full 2 minutes, but if it had been, what you would have seen, candidates, is the lovely and talented Heather at the front there start to wave signs at you. So, when you have 30 seconds left, she will hold up the green sign saying, hey, you're running out of time. When she holds up the yellow sign, the triangle that says 10, it's, oh, better wrap up. And when she holds up the red sign, it means your time's up, and the next thing that's going to happen is she's going to throw her phone at your head.
I got good aim.
So, with that said, the next candidate to speak will be Ms. Karen McSweeney.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out today. I know that it was a national holiday and one of reflection, and I know that many people are very moved by today. Anyway, and thanks very much to 12 CSI and the Dover community for putting this on. So my name's Allison Corinne McSweeney, and I've been working in Ward 9 for 3 decades. I work for the International Avenue Business Revitalization Zone. I've been very honored to do so. I believe I'm the most experienced candidate. I have worked with every city department, from planning, roads, parks, and even waste and recycling. And I've worked with them on multiple projects. I've also worked on the $176 million makeover of 17th Avenue with extensive public engagement, and we also worked on the urban design of that. And some of the other projects have included the creation of the Journey to Freedom Park with the Vietnamese community, International Avenue Arts and Culture Community, International Avenue Mural Society, which has brought color and culture to 17th Avenue. I think we have 14 murals now. And I've also supported and helped to create multiple cultural festivals, including Global Fest, and also the very popular Easttown Get Down. I believe that this is a critical election for our city for many reasons, and I hope you'll vote for me on October 20th. I'm part of the community's first party. Oh, 30 seconds, whoa. I joined them because their platform is not ideological. There's no left or right, and that's been kind of the problem at City Hall for a long time. We believe in 7 platform points, and that's really getting back to the business of the city and also being accountable to citizens and review. Do I have to stop?
3 seconds.
Okay.
1.
Thanks.
Thank you. That time really does fly. Don't expect that it will, but it does. Reminder to candidates, do try to keep the microphone as far from your mouth as you can reasonably, because if people can't understand you, you have no chance of winning them over. All right. Next to speak will be with a 2-minute introduction, Ms. Kippers.
Thank you. I hope my voice doesn't crack too much. We've done a lot of talking in the last little bit. My name is Ariana Kippers, and I am running with the Calgary Party to be your Ward 9 City Councillor. I'm a lifelong resident of East Calgary. I'm a mom of 2 young children, and I'm a fierce advocate for the communities we all call home. Service is at the center of who I am and what I do, and supporting my neighbors led me to work at City Hall. When I wasn't getting answers, I decided to go to join and learn about how things were done. So that work led me to work in the Ward 9 constituency office, where I was able to connect residents to the information and the services they need, as well as help them resolve some of the issues in the community that had not been addressed by 311. So next step for me is running for City Council. I want my children to feel as empowered and embedded in their communities as I did growing up. I want Calgary to be a place where they can afford to live in, where they feel safe, and a place where they feel they belong. I have experience working at City Hall in supporting our residents and getting things done. And that's why I've decided to work with a team who has put together a very well balanced and comprehensive plan for Calgary in this election. Our vision combines good people with good policy to deliver great results in Ward 9. And I know just how incredible our ward is. I see a lot of potential in our future, and I want to ensure that our next councillor cares about the people who live here, is embedded in these communities, and who wants to help lead us through the changes and to ensure that all of our future is secure. So join me in the Calgary Party in this election for governance that people can count on, results that you all can enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next to speak will be Mr. Clark.
Hello folks, my name is Harrison Clark. I'm your independent candidate for this fall's municipal election. I am a small business owner and entrepreneur, but a little bit about me. My grandparents farmed north of this city. They've done dairy in the province for the last 60, 70 years. And I'm kind of a unique Canadian, not so much anymore, but that classic Canadian story of my father's from Pakistan, and my mom is of course a farm kid, a classic Albertan farm kid. So I have a sort of a standing relationship with the communities of Applewood, Temple, Abbeydale, I'm familiar with the Northeast in my own way as a kid growing up in a split house. And then of course with Tuxedo and Renfrew and these kinds of things too. So I just wanted to highlight that here tonight because I know we've got sort of a very mixed and interesting crowd of people that come with a huge diversity of stories. So small business owner, entrepreneur, I've served on the Business Association in Inglewood. Prior to that I worked for community and stakeholder relations for the province of Alberta. And that was to support Bowness really and many of the communities in and around it. In upstream flood mitigation, the completion of the West Calgary Ring Road. I've spent the last year of my life getting to know the communities of Ward 9. There are 17 of these communities, and I think I've done a good job of stepping outside of my niche of what I think I know about these places and stepping into the things that I don't know. And I'm quite excited to have a conversation tonight about the things that matter to you, because I've heard many of them on the doors already and with you in community, and I look forward to this conversation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the next introduction for 2 minutes goes to Ms. Ortman.
Thank you. It's so great to see everyone here. Thanks for taking the time and making your way here. Okay, is this better, Jerry? Okay, perfect. All right. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge today on the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, we honor the survivors of residential schools, their families, and the children who never came home. It is the day to listen, to reflect, and commit ourselves to action. Building relationship rooted in respect, understanding, and healing. Reconciliation is not a single day, but an ongoing responsibility we all share. Now, a little bit about me. Well, Marina Ortman, I'm a proud Calgarian, and I'm stepping forward to represent your voices to serve residents of Ward 9 with purpose and dedication. This campaign is not about me, it's about all of us. It's about your families, your neighbors, about communities we all call home. I was born in Western Siberia and raised in Ukrainian-Russian family. Please do not be jealous. There are stories. Like many residents of Ward 9 who have come from all over the world, I know how important it is to be recognized, heard, understood, and taken into account. Some of you will know me through Safe Inglewood Pool campaign. I have also been fortunate enough to volunteer for Crime Stoppers and Elizabeth Fry Society. I'm not waiting to assume that job at the City Hall. I'm actually doing work right now, and I have some residents who I've been working with in different communities. I know the trust you place in me is not given lightly. I carry that trust with deep gratitude and appreciate your honesty and concerns you shared with me at your doors. I want to ease burdens people go through and improve quality of life across Ward 9. That means being approachable, visible, accountable, and transparent. Together, we will unite our diversity. Thank you.
I can see you're getting ready to throw that phone.
I know, I'm not
Picking
good.
it up.
Our next speaker will be Mr. Din for 2 minutes.
Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to the Dover Association, all the volunteers. Louder?
Stand up.
Oh, stand up. Wow. All right. It's an honor, again, it's an honor to share the stage with all these candidates. My name is Tony Din. I'm running to represent you as your Ward 9 City Councillor. I'm a born and raised Vietnamese Calgarian. My parents came to Calgary, to Canada, to start a new life from scratch. They left Vietnam on a boat and arrived as refugees. Truly, I feel indebted to this country, and I feel indebted to this beautiful city of Calgary. As for my school and academics, I went through the Catholic system. I graduated at Father Lacombe High School. Any Father Lacombe graduates here? Anyone? Oh, here we go. And State and University of Calgary. I studied civil engineering and real estate development. I've lived all over Ward 9. I'm a family man, as Joey had mentioned there, 5 kids, married, and you know what? I'll mention I'm the father that stepped up for the 2 older ones. I'm running because I love our city, Ward 9, and I connect to community members on many levels. And I really want to give back to this community that raised me, to inspire the next generation of leaders, and to give back to the ones before me and beside me. For community involvement, I started as a secretary on a community board, worked my way up, and currently I'm serving as the president of Albert Park Radisson Heights Community Association. It's been an honor to serve the community in this role, listening to their concerns, hopes and dreams, and it's been quite natural, this campaign, listening, learning on a ward level, showing up and having heart-to-heart conversations with many of you at your doors. I also have been a wedding commissioner for 2 marriages, and I've knocked thousands and thousands of doors. I am the Conservative candidate for this election.
Get your phone out.
Thank you very much. You know those marriage commissioners, they do go on. All right. Oh, I'm a little tied up here. There we go. And our last introduction, 2 minutes to Mr. Gar. Yeah!
Well, hello everybody. My name is Gar. First name Gar, last name Gar. I'm running because of the Calgary story. I wouldn't be here today without this city. Coming in as a 17 years old refugee with no English, nowhere in the world my story would be possible. And actually every part of Ward 9 became making me who I am, from moving to actually getting my Bachelor of Business with major in accounting to actually serving in various boards and also the grassroots. I had 2 opportunities to see how policies makes changes, but how advocacy works. For the past 18 years also, I have seen the community work. A lot of people actually, because of so much community work, they think I don't work, but actually I have a full-time job. I work as a community mobilization or engagement specialist with the Calgary Police Services. I work under the community services, and it's actually a civilian position. But what we do is exactly why I'm here today. It's bringing people on the table and having their voice heard. When we bring people on the table, it's an opportunity to engage them and have a real engagement. And that's what's been missing far too long. We have seen a community that is divided between politics and people, where simple concerns, when people say, I need my engagement, I'm not saying that this is wrong, but come to the table and hear my voice. We became a community advocate between the community and the city councilor, let alone the city council. If I get elected, I would like to bring that opportunity to have a city that is affordable for all. And right now, even the seniors are getting to get scared to move out. The reality, we are not changing from revitalization, we are changing to gentrification. That's why I'm here today, to make sure we have a city that everyone can afford, a safer community for me, for my kids, for everybody. It hurts because 2 years I ran away as a refugee. I don't want to run away here again. This is home.
Thank you, Mr. Gar. All right, so thank you all the candidates for those opening statements. The first formal question of the forum tonight focuses on public safety. And the first candidate to respond will be Ms. Ordman. The question is, and every candidate will have a chance to answer this question, what is your view of crime in this area, and what concrete steps can the next city council take to promote crime prevention rather than waiting for crime to happen and then respond after the fact? And as a reminder, the responses are 1 minute.
Well, first of all, we need to draw a difference. What crime we're talking about? Is crime caused by homelessness, or is it a gang groups, crime groups? Sorry, it's been a long day. And or just petty theft. The different directions require different involvement. With the, for example, and you probably assume we were talking about downtown with the crime that are caused by homelessness. More boots on the ground is what we need. We need peace officers. We need people that are able to deal with, because a lot of people are having mental issues. So we need to, the work is vast. There's not a simple answer to this, but we need to address different types of crime with a different approach is what we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the same question to Ms. Karen McSweeney.
Oops, oh. Don't want to make you trip there. Hi, so we currently have 24 less police officers than we need in this District 4. I've been working on crime prevention for probably 25 years. I do have SEPTED 1 and 2, but the one thing I did want to say is that we do have significant issues here. And there's problems with negative land uses, there's problems with a lot of social disorder. We're also seeing a lot of fires recently. What my office has done is we've hired our own security team, and we also have an ambassador team that actually helps people get off the street. So we have been behind 50 people being arrested, really bad dudes that we worked with the police on. And then 231 people we've managed to find out what is keeping them on the street and trying to find those systemic issues on how we can help them. So I would continue to work with these policies and also get a lot more police. Thanks.
Thank you. As a reminder, we do have our coins, but you don't want to spend them all too early. All right. Next to answer the same question will be, for 1 minute, Mr. Gar.
Yeah, both we have crimes, whether perceptions or the reality. For example, the shootings that were happening from 36 to the restaurants, the biggest aspects about it is also the resources that we have. Who remembers that we don't even no longer have those officers on the bikes? So the officers on the bikes used to actually help where they used to go behind the back alleys, they have the present. They also build the community sense of belonging. We tried something called Walk with the Police, where actually we have more CROs. What we need is to hire CROs more so they can be present, and expanding on Walk with the Police, where actually you have that present in the community and building relationship. The other one is also investing in youth and youth activities. Best example is Dover and the other community association that are now working to have programs within the community. When the community have more investments, direct investments help. Sadly, what we see is the lack of investment. The last part that we did is the park, and we need more parks.
Yes, sir. Next to speak on the same question will be Ms. Kippers.
Thank you. So there are a few different ways we need to look at crime. Of course, there's petty theft, disorder in communities, but there's also bylaw infractions that stop our communities from staying safe. So a few ways we can address that is to invest in the public spaces to encourage community use, ensure that we're not promoting, sleeping there or encampments, but having more eyes and people using those spaces. We need to balance compassion with enforcement, and so we need to provide our law enforcement with what they need to address it, but also invest in organizations like Alpha House, who can come and support our vulnerable neighbors with getting the resources and mental health supports that they need. And having additional investment again in bylaw, so we can go and educate folks just on community standards and how we can keep the community safe and clean and beautiful like we all like to enjoy. Thank you.
And, yes,
Can I use this to speak after someone else's?
not immediately after, but when we're done running the full
The ballot.
number set, then you would be able to speak again.
Thank you.
All right, next to speak on the same question will be Ms. Perrin-Gaudu.
Thank you for the questions. We all know that crimes, when there is a crime in a community, and we supposed to stop this by doing the outposts that we have, the 24/7 CCTV before the crimes is happened will protect us from having the crime. And also, when we are avoiding the crimes, everything will come along. Safe environment, safe people, it will come when the crime will be stopped. Thank you.
All right, Salah. Next to speak on the same question for 60 seconds will be Mr. Clark.
Hello, folks. Okay, so on this journey over the last year, I've learned that crime and social disorder are two distinct issues that often intersect. And so it's important, speaking with sort of those frontline workers and the people on the front lines, it was really important that we discern the difference. These two issues require supports unique to themselves. Crime, we have to support in specific ways. Social disorder obviously needs to be supported uniquely as well. I have sat down with our community resource officers in District 4 as well and highlighted a number of things. I think our communities of Ogden, Dover, Southview, we've lost access to these bridge builders. These are non-enforcement agency officers that help build bridges with the social services working in community. This is an awful big topic to talk about in 60 seconds. So please look at my policy outline.
Thank you. I once had a candidate at one of these forums who had a t-shirt printed with a QR code, and when he got to the 10 seconds, he would just say, please scan my shirt for more. Batting cleanup on this question for 60 seconds will be Mr. Din.
So thank you for the question. There is a lot of increase in crime and social disorder in our communities and our wards, and we need more police presence. We need more social workers. We need to deal with these people that have these issues, and we need to cure these addictions. It's a revolving door that's going on. You drive down the neighborhoods, you see people sleeping in the alleys, you sleep on the corners. It's worse than it's ever been. And I really do believe in housing. We need to get them housed. This will get them off the streets. And like I said before, we got to nurture them. We got to get them being productive, and that'll help them get on the right track on being productive. And so it's a whole systematic approach to deal with the crime and social disorder. And I think that's the best way to approach it. It's a whole systematic approach.
All right, thank you candidates for those answers. That was mostly painless. Now, is that in a, no, it's not in a, okay. Oh, are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I could, yeah.
It's up to you. If you drop it in, it's yours. All right, I get one of my coins back. So with 30 seconds to rebut, Ms. Karen McSweeney.
We have a very complex number of issues that are happening in our area. We've done a lot of research. We've actually done 20,000 data points over the last 5 years to look and see if a theory we had actually was true. And unfortunately, we have found that there's a number of negative uses that are contributing to the issues that we have. We have a very high propensity of alcohol, which actually increases the level of violence, but we also have a number of other issues. And, no.
You'd like to. Okay. And for 30 seconds, Ms. Ortman.
Everybody brought valid points, and thank you for sharing your views. Something that hasn't been brought up is there's two sides to it. There's crime, and then there's actually policing, which is currently there's a study being done up because our police force is actually going through a low morale phase. 20% of police is actually on certain leaves, either a stress leave or emotional leave. We need to figure out what it is that actually making our force weaker. At the same time, if we want to deal with the crime.
All right, thank you, candidates. All right, our next question is about city governance and intergovernmental relations. And the first person to answer will be Mr. Gar. So, various other levels of government that have ideological or political differences with Calgary City Council have taken a more hands-on approach with municipalities over the past few years, including the banning of photo radar, talk of removing bike lanes, defunding and then redesign of the Green Line LRT, rules about how votes in municipal elections are counted, introduction of formal political parties and slates in Edmonton and Calgary, etc., etc. How will you protect Calgary residents from potential overreach by other levels of government that have their own competing agendas?
This is a great question, and I think the answer to itself is why I'm running independent. I believe running independent gives us an opportunity to answer to the community and having the voice. And yet, this is why this election is so much critical, because in one aspect, we have a city or the word that have never been heard and even been forgotten so long. I have also a critical plan and advocacy point that I'm able to work with totally different levels of governments. As the president of a student association, I was able to advocate on municipal, federal, and provincial. Also, the last one is the Hero Sidewalk. They said it took us, it will take 3 months. It took us only 5 days because I was able to bring everybody on the table within 2 days, and we brought them with a common sense. Beyond party politics, party partisan, but it was about the community. This election is about people versus politics, and people will win.
Thank you very much. Next to speak on the same question for 1 minute will be Ms. Parangaldu.
With the provincial involvement to the community municipality, the authority that's given to the community, the provincial should be allowing the community to handle the problem in our community because we know the best to our community. And we know what we need. And having those provincial making their decisions for us community is losing us an opportunity to make our community better. So I think the provincial should not touch our duties in becomes of the community. Thank you.
Don't be scared of Heather. She's not that scary. All right. I mean, she scares me, but that's just because I know it. All right. Next to speak on the same issue for 60 seconds will be Mr. Clark.
Thank you. I think that the City Council is a board of directors. It's an organization that's meant to go forward and work on our behalf. And so the short answer to the question is teamwork. We've got to present ourselves as a unified front, which is also why I've come forward as an independent, because I think it's important to have the flexibility in your point of view to get the best possible outcome for the citizens here in the city. I think it's really important that whatever happens next for us, that City Council gets, when it sits down to the table with the province, that we do so in a unified way, because a lot of the concerns that we share, while we may have different points of view, we generally want to see the same things for our neighborhoods, and I think it's really important. I think it's also very exciting that we're going to see such renewal on council. We're going to see a huge flip here, about 9 seats. So.
Thank you very much. Next to speak on the same question will be Ms. Kippers for 60 seconds.
Thank you. So first of all, it's important for whoever is on council to work together. As we've seen, our current councilors and mayor fight like children and nothing gets done, and that's wasting our tax dollars. So in regards to other levels of government, we don't have clearly defined relationships with the province, and that makes challenges here. Calgary cannot both be responsible for more while also receiving less. We need to address the state of this relationship by establishing a new and clearly defined municipal charter that will ensure that we're keeping a greater share of our tax dollars here and creating formal collaboration mechanisms so that we can address the concerns that are affecting the community members here and actually bring forth change instead of being held back. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And next person to answer the same question for 60 seconds will be Mr. Din.
So the the municipality of Calgary is registered under the province of Alberta. So that allows it to exist under the province. And so one of the candidates mentioned about political parties. I want to talk a little bit about why I had joined a political party. I started as an independent and I checked out the parties, and A Better Calgary is the conservative one that I really resonated with their values and principles, and they had a nomination race, and so I won the nomination. And so I like the party system because I think it helps educate the voter. When you have 7 independent candidates and you don't have enough time to go through all the platforms, the party system, it helps people to be, it helps them to educate them on who they are and who is supporting them. So that gives you an extra layer of who they are and who they actually are. And so that is what it is. I just want to help the voters.
Thank you very much for that answer. Next to speak on the same subject for 60 seconds will be Ms. Ortman.
Thank you.
So, well, number one, I'd like to stress that at the municipal level, council is the one that makes decisions, not administration. So far, it's been the other way around. Administration runs the council, and this is why we actually having so many issues. But anyway, number one, make sure that level is, well, that system is in. Council makes decisions, administration there is to execute them. Then we have to remember municipalities are an integral part of provincial authority. We exist under the province. Oversight is legitimate when it comes to ensuring transparency, fiscal responsibility, and accountability for how taxpayers' dollars are spent. But there is an overreach, like provincial government dissolved code of conduct at the city, and everybody was running for themselves. That is unacceptable. Moving forward, my commitment to work with any party, because residents deserve to be heard.
Thank you. And batting cleanup on this question will be Ms. Karen McSweeney with 60 seconds.
Thank you. So I believe that we need to work with whomever to get the job done, and I actually do have experience. My organization is actually, have to use the Municipal Government Act. So unfortunately, what one of my colleagues said, there actually is a Municipal Government Act that's been in place for decades, and they actually are working with a number of groups right now. But anyway, clearly defines that. But also we get grants from that province. And so as a result, they do have a say because it is their money. And so we need to make it work for us as well. I do want to say that you may have noticed on 17th Avenue that we have U-turns. And that's because we worked with Alberta Transportation to be the only place that allows U-turns in Alberta. And that was because we wanted to make sure that there was appropriate access and egress. I've also worked with public safety, municipal affairs, and Alberta Environment, and also mental health and addictions to try and help with the recovery model that has now come to this area. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that brings that question to an end, unless somebody has an itchy finger and wants to spend a little bit of chocolate with me. No, no chocolate for Joey. All right, well, candidates, the good news is we're already part of the way through. This gets easier as you go. I've been in your shoes. You're doing fine. I know the time goes quickly. Time goes quickly. I ran for office a long, long time ago and then went, this is stupid. I'm going to moderate the debates. That's so much fun. So, we want to pause just for a second to thank our live streaming partners at Wire Calgary. Hello, everybody on the screen. We hope that you're learning something and hopefully able to make an informed decision come the 20th of October, if not before. And big props to Aaron, who's running the live stream for us here in the room. All right, our next question is related to economic opportunity. And the first candidate to respond will be Ms. Karen McSweeney.
Oh, I can answer that.
So, Ward 9 is very probably the most culturally diverse area in the city of Calgary. I mean, God, just look at who's running for our seat on council. International Avenue and hundreds of locally owned businesses running right across the heart of the ward. Despite this, many Calgarians from other parts of the city only come to this area to spend money during Global Fest every summer. How can the city encourage more outside visitation and economic opportunity for business owners in Ward 9?
Thank you. First of all, I do have to correct something that isn't true. We actually have one of the largest amounts of people that travel from all over the city to actually purchase unique products and goods, because we do have so many different cultural businesses, 435 actually. And one thing that you will find is that this area is extremely innovative. There's been many businesses that have started here that now have other businesses all around the city because we're a really good incubator. That's one thing that I've been working on for pretty much my whole career. We have a Merge Hub, which actually helps to help start our businesses. We also have a market that we do, and we've also been working with artists to try and bring them up. So I think, unfortunately, that's a misnomer. There is lots of opportunity, and lots of people do come here specifically for businesses. And also, I did want to say that we've created Around the World in 35 Blocks food tour, and it sells out every single time we have it within one day. And we've been running it since 1997. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak will be Ms. Kippers for 60 seconds on economic opportunity.
Thank you. So yes, I agree with what Allison has said there, and I also want to highlight that in Ward 9 we have some of the most bike and cycle shops, Bathtub Bikes over here, run by someone who grew up in these communities, and so there are lots of places that people will come here to support our businesses. Some things that I think we could work on, a few years back there was an event called Frost Fest, which was held just over here in Valley View Park. We got great feedback from the city that it was the most highly attended and well-run event, and so I think if we promote events like this and other opportunities for different community members to come in, share the work they do, share their culture, connect over food, connect over craft. We did music in the garden between myself and my neighbor, and we've helped the local community by allowing those folks to come in and sell their homemade goods, which helps support the small businesses. There's lots of opportunities, but we need someone who knows the community and knows how to coordinate these types of things. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak on the same question will be Mr. Din.
That's not you.
Maybe you are raising his children.
So I think Ward 9 is the most exciting ward in all of Calgary. We have 3 BIAs, we have commercial, we have light industrial, we have all of these employers all over Ward 9. We have the working class, we have new immigrants, we have such a diverse community, and from all different kinds of backgrounds. And people want to work close to where they live, and they want to live close to the work. And so Ward 9 has all of that, and I think that they need a city councilor that's going to stand up for them, someone that's going to represent the people and fight the stigma. Ward 9 is open. It is thriving. There's a lot of opportunity. You can live very affordably. You can live close to your work, and you get some of the best value here in Ward 9. Some of the best food too.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony.
Definitely some of the best food. Do I look like someone who wouldn't know that? All right. Next to speak on the same question will be Mr. Gar.
Yeah, the best way to engage and bring economical benefits is actually looking into Ward 9 as a whole. Once again, we do have a greater opportunity to see International Avenue, but in order to have this strength, we have to treat it in the whole community. Like they mentioned, everybody comes in International Avenue to get a food and leave. This is not the definition of the community. To bring the community together, looking into what brings the community in the community sense, like taste or forest lawn, like something beyond. Also, involving those economical opportunity involves the community association. Building a local businesses where actually we can hire in from those. I have 6-pillar platform of how we can engage and turning it from perception, negative perception, to actually building an economical opportunity.
Thank you. Next to speak on the same subject will be Ms. Perrin-Gaudu.
Thank you. Economic and opportunity is the foundations for our community. Affordable living. The salary seems like the calculator doesn't work anymore for all of us. No matter how we calculate it, the expenses, it doesn't come along. So businesses, we're supposed to support our business to create more jobs and the safety roads that who's using for it. And also that we have to be unite how to make the community better and ensure that all the expenses will accommodate for living. Thank you.
All right, next to speak on the same subject will be Mr. Clark for 60 seconds.
Finally.
Okay, as a small business owner myself, I sell furniture. I do antique furniture restoration, and what's interesting is I interact with a lot of the people moving to Calgary because they're looking to furnish their homes. And so we're seeing folks from Toronto and Montreal and Vancouver and Ottawa and all across this great nation and the United States. And they're looking at our city with bright eyes and excitement and enthusiasm for the communities of Forest Lawn and International Ave and so many of these economic spaces. I think it's really important that we meet the moment and that we acknowledge that our community stories have a lot to offer us in terms of the economic drives of what comes next in these spaces. There's an untold story here, I think, in many ways, or an evolving story that we can certainly bring to the forefront. I think we've talked a lot about food. Food is a wonderful way to introduce people to our communities, and this, International Ave is the grand bazaar of our city. Imagine the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And batting cleanup on this round will be Ms. Ortman for 60 seconds.
Thank you for sharing that, you're a business owner. I'm a business owner myself. I'm a clothing designer, and starting business in this city is very hard. I know a lot of artists myself who pretty much give up because there was no grants from the city, no help, and we are not promoting our talent within our city. Everybody was saying about the food and all the great things. I think I need to point out the deterrent from attending 17th Avenue, for example, or Inglewood, where parking is impossible, construction is everywhere. In Forest Lawn, I'm sorry to say this, but there are a lot of people on the street doing the business that they do. And until we create communities where we actually fix the problems that we have right now, then we can talk about economic developments. Right now, I think we are a little bit far from it.
Thank you for that response. All right, everybody's had a chance to say their piece. Is anybody itching to say some more about this? Before I move on, it's in there. Gar with 30 seconds on economic development.
Yeah, definitely the perception kills everything. And when we say it's not safe, sometimes it's not about safety, it's the perception. What I would like to do is what has happened in downtown, where they have the radius, spend more $1 million to make it safe, bring in those resources. And if we do it anywhere in International Avenue, we have to start from Memorial all the way to Barlow and have a zoning, and then ask ourselves, how can we make it safe? Whether it is perception, but we cannot take those negative perception in mind, and that's what kills the economical downturn for Ward 9.
Thank you.
I can't stand it.
I can give you one. I can give you one. I'll give you one.
If you put it in, it's yours.
You can borrow one. Yeah.
Big spender. There we go.
Everyone's made incredibly good points. The only thing I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention is the interesting thing about the business district that's on 17th Avenue is the majority of them have been in business over 10 years. So there is a lot of profitability and there's a lot of stuff. So part of the work that we've been doing is obviously safety is our biggest issue, but we do have such a good variety, and I think that that could happen throughout the whole ward. Thank you.
Thank you, and Joey gets more chocolate.
Thank you. So how do we get more people to stay here and spend money with all of our businesses? When I think of as family, our rec center, we need to make a better recreation center where families will want to come and spend the day there, going to different programs. That will encourage them to be in community, closer to International Avenue, investing in our businesses there. Also, with construction that's happening, any sort of helping out the businesses by ensuring that they're aware of what's happening for construction and maybe giving them a bit of a break on costs.
Thank you. Any more chocolate for Joey? No. Seeing none and being somewhat heartbroken, we want to thank again everybody for being here tonight so far, everybody who's watching on the live stream. Thank you to the people who are engaging on the live stream and who are sending tweets. The one in particular, to the person in the room who sent this tweet, thank you, I'm very flattered, but the answer is married. All right. Now, with that said, the next question deals with city infrastructure. And the first candidate to respond will be Mr. Din. Calgarians expect that their property taxes will be spent equitably across the city to address infrastructure need and repair. Yet one doesn't have to look very hard to see roads and sidewalks desperately in need of repair in communities like Dover and Forest Heights, while communities like Eagle Ridge and Mount Royal seem to have potholes filled magically overnight with one phone call. How can the next council ensure that Ward 9 gets the attention it needs when it comes to infrastructure maintenance and repair?
So thank you for that question. I get to start first for once here. So Ward 9 is being neglected. You know, we all know that. You look around, it's very clear. Our roads, potholes, broken glasses, fences, there's really, no attention here. And our councillor, he did not take care of Ward 9. So I want to fight for our fair share. For Ward 9, I was in Southview earlier, they did a patchwork. They patched the pothole, but they didn't have enough to do beside it. And then they had the Grand Valley, that's what they call it over there. And it's just ridiculous what can happen in other parts of the city when we need our fair share. We pay our taxes, we pay all of our bills, but we're getting less here. So we need some representation, and we just want to be treated fairly and the same as everyone else.
Thank you very much for that. Next to speak on that question for up to 60 seconds will be Ms. Ortman.
It's not a surprise to anybody, city infrastructure is in a dire state, especially when it comes to new developments done in older communities. The residents' concerns and voices addressing the poor quality of infrastructure while the new developments are done are not being heard, being neglected. We need to fix that. With any new development, I would like to offer a trade to a developer to actually invest in rebuilding or retrofitting a piece of infrastructure to give something back to the community. We will spend the money, but also we will be asking a developer to trade in a work. It's either infrastructure in this particular case. Thank you.
Thank you. And next for 60 seconds on the same subject, Ms. Karen McSweeney.
Thank you. I would like to bring some of the knowledge that I've been doing on International Avenue. I was successful in getting $176 million worth of street improvements. But one thing that you may not know is we were told that they couldn't do anything because the water main needed to be replaced. So guess what? I got the water main replaced in 1999 to 2000. So we can do a lot of density on 17th Avenue. The water main is new, so hopefully we won't have a collapse of that. But absolutely, we do need to get back to the basics of what the city actually is supposed to do. And that's making sure that there's snow removal, that there's safe sidewalks, that infrastructure is not gonna fail us, because we all know what it was like last year when we had no water. In fact, we actually do all the watering on 17th Avenue and actually design all the planters. And we actually had to source our water out of District of Foothills. So we don't want to have to do that again. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer. And next on the same subject for 60 seconds will be Mr. Clark.
So I got started about a year ago, and I launched with A Fair Share of Investment for Ward 9, which has, every one of these communities is considered established or historical. And I think the city in many ways has looked at us and thought, oh, that's an established place, it's taken care of, let's keep growing, let's keep going. And I think the pressures of the density and the population growth that we're seeing in the city are making the foundation cracks that are quite obvious now in our communities. So I think it's really important that whoever steps up to do this job advocates for more of a renewal strategy for these communities. I think we have to reflect on many of the things that we have here and how they can be improved. Recreation, certainly road and park service. How do we move through these neighborhoods? How do we use them? I think we have to answer these questions now and make sure that the investments that we make are reflective of that.
All right, next to speak on the same subject will be Ms. Perrin-Gaudu.
It is long for you to pronounce it, eh? And thank you for the questions. When you become a counselor, the words that you're holding reflects to your positions. When you do good to your community, it means you're doing your job better for the community. Therefore, I will fight for the fair, transparent, and data-driven maintenance, so every road and sidewalk in our community gets the attention it deserves. That's why, if my community will reflect me, I will ensure to you that I will serve my community the way I am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm definitely getting my steps in today. All right, next to speak on the same subject for up to 60 seconds will be Mr. Gar.
The best way to bring economy is to have a good infrastructure. Lately, we've been talking about potholes, but also what happened to Bonas when the water has happened. Right now, what we see is that we don't even think about it. We are always from emergency to emergency. We want to build a city that is more on the future perspective. That is start by looking into those communities. What does the infrastructure look like under? We have communities that are aging from Dover to Ogden to Forest Lawn to Southview, but yet we keep seeing the biggest push is basically not getting our voice heard. If I become a councillor, I'll use the same 18 years community advocacy that gets things done to actually bring our voice on the table. And that starts by asking, why are we not having those basic needs, even though we pay the same property taxes, even though we work harder in Ward 9.
Thank you. Almost done, but I'll put you on my list.
Thank you.
Next to speak will be Ms. Kippers for up to 60 seconds.
Can I add another?
Oh, she's going to add right off the bat, so she gets a minute and a half.
So Ward 9 communities consist of the people who built this city, and they also include the people who keep it running every single day. So we need, after 30 years of not having representation east of the Deerfoot, we need someone who knows these streets like the back of their hand, who understands the flooding concerns in basements in Dover, the poor drainage issues in Forest Heights, the lack of crosswalks in Applewood, the access to Costco and Belvedere. They were not thoughtful about that when they did it, and it's causing a lot of traffic issues. So what I want to see happening is being more thoughtful and proactive, and seeing the whole community and how it's going to affect the communities when we're doing these investments in infrastructure. We're also looking at it from a holistic view, ensuring that it's being done right the first time and not being torn up and being done again a second time. And then also ensuring that we're addressing the quality of work done by contractors. Too often I see snow removal on our back lanes that are just not of good quality. And we are paying money into this. We need to ensure that the folks who we're hiring are actually doing a good job. And so, yeah, as somebody who lives in these areas, who experiences all of these things that you will, in your streets, it matters to me, and I will always advocate for it to City Council when elected as your Ward 9 councillor. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and thank you for the shout out to Costco. Long live the $1.50 hot dog.
We will.
Mr. Clark, for 30.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add to the point that the way I see it as we approach this election and what comes next for the city, this conversation about sprawl and how far can we go and at the expense of our inner city, I think we're about to see sort of Ward 7, 8, 9 and most of 6 really gather together and rally to support and really engage investment in the inner city. So it's really what is coming next for us. And that's my shortest version that I could possibly put together for that statement.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Ortman purchased 30 seconds.
I just want to add something. Throughout my door knocking and helping residents, Ivan, raise your hand right there. Resident in Albert Park, he lives in towers that are being flooded every time it rains heavy. We engaged the city, and they came out on site and they explained. The problem is the main is shallow. That's it, right? Easy fix. City said nothing will happen in 3 years. We need to fix how the development is actually built in city administration. Until then, nothing's going to happen.
Thank you for that. Anybody else on this before we move on? All right. All right, so this is a bit of a verbal equivalent to the 7th inning stretch. We're going to give the candidates a chance to take a deep breath, and I'm going to ask a question of the audience. This is always my favorite question of these types of forums, and that is this. If you are a first-time voter, meaning you just turned 18 or you just got your Canadian citizenship and you're looking forward to casting your ballot for the first time, can you please just stand for us? Are there any first-time voters in the room? Nobody.
Well, seasoned groups.
Oh.
We didn't bring our grandkids.
Didn't bring the grandkids. Well, by numbers, they are the group least likely to vote. So please encourage them to come out and vote, because decisions are made by those who show up, and turnout in municipal elections is notoriously low as it is. So please encourage people to come out and cast an informed ballot. It's the only way that we get the government that we deserve.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to move on to some other questions that have been submitted from the audience. And I'm going to paraphrase some of these because in some cases I've got 5 or 6 versions of the same question. And the first person to answer this one will be Ms. Kippers. And the question is, we hear a lot of talk about affordable housing. And yet when it comes time to build affordable housing, we end up with $500,000 McMansions on the outskirts of the city. So with that said, how do you put a money figure, a monetary figure on affordable housing? What is affordable housing? Is affordable housing a $1,000 a month apartment? Is affordable housing a $250,000 townhome? What is affordable housing, and how can the city encourage its building? And you'll have a minute to answer.
Thank you. So affordable housing can look different for different folks, depending if you're a senior and you're on pension, if you have disability and you're on AISH. It can vary, and so we need to build different housing styles to ensure that we have options for those folks who may not want a big house, multiple stairs, things like that. But affordable housing, so the housing that we're seeing with these big developments, it's market-driven housing. Only 3% of our stock in Calgary is actually affordable, and it has recently dropped to 2.7%. We need to set a target of 15 to 20% of partnering with organizations, First Nations, private private developers to actually build affordable housing. We need to increase that significantly because there are far too many of my neighbors and seniors who are having to move out of the city. So not just letting the market build, but partnering and giving more land to those affordable business organizations. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And next to respond to the question, what is affordable housing and how do we get it built? Mr. Clark.
Well, I know for sure that a $650,000 to $800,000 townhouse is not an entry-level approach to housing. And I agree that we can't allow the private market simply to take this on. I think what's really interesting about Ward 9 is we've got a diversity of housing models that exist, and some of them have come from sort of the 20th century or the 19s. We've got lots of mobile homes here. And it's a wonderful protected space for our seniors and low-income, those that are on low incomes. I think it's really important that we make an effort to create smaller, accessible assets for seniors to hold on to and for young peoples to grab onto as they make their way into this world. We certainly do have a number of partners in the city doing this work. I've also put forward in my strategic plan some thoughts around making it more accessible through policy, bylaw, zoning, permitting, and so on to these groups, and to revisit some zoning options in our legacy industrial lands. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And next to speak on affordable housing will be Ms. Perry-O'Doux.
Thank you. For me, affordable housing is something that people, when you build a housing for affordable, someone who needs it, it's supposed to be dedicated for them. And it's supposed to be given to them. When you support the person or people in the community, you're supposed to support them all the way. Not asking them to put the down payment and put a money first before you move in. We're supposed to build the affordable where you can say affordable to everyone, where everybody can use it right away. We don't need a very expensive house. What we need is a home to live in for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next to speak on it is Mr. Din.
So I believe affordable housing is defined by, if you spend 30% of your income, more than 30% of your income, then you need affordable housing. If your income, let's say, is $3,000, you're paying over $1,000, you need affordable housing. And so as for affordable housing, if we're talking about market or non-market, everyone needs to step up for affordable housing. The private sector needs to step up, the city needs to step up. We're short on affordable housing, non-market. As Ariane mentioned, we're at 3%, and most municipalities are at 6 to 8%, and that's the non-market housing. And that'll help with the housing crisis that we're at, or at least that we were at. I don't believe it's necessarily as much of a housing crisis as it was a year or two ago, as we had less immigration and lower demand. I'm going to use one of these. So so the city needs to step up. And now for the private sector, I'll make a point to repeal blanket rezoning. I know what's available, I know the certainty you get with blanket rezoning as a builder, and I'm against it because 2/3 of people are against it. 2/3 of you guys are against it. City Hall still pushed it through. There's better ways for building houses. We're still going. So the city of Calgary needs to be a partner in affordability also. You got levies, well, major levies, you got DSSPs, you got sidewalks that they want you to fix. They need to be a partner in affordability, because who pays for the cost of a housing at the end of the day? It's the end user. It's the person that lives there is the one that pays the cost. So the city needs to be a partner in affordability in order for builders to actually deliver affordable housing.
All right, thank you for the chocolate and an answer. Next to respond will be Ms. Karen McSweeney.
Thank you. And I don't know if you know, but Tony has a beautiful development that he's doing on 19th, and he actually is doing a rooftop garden. Aren't you, Tony?
I
Yes,
am.
he is. Anyway, I just wanted to say that with affordable housing, I think there's a couple of things. I think affordable housing should be something that all developers have to do when they do an apartment. It doesn't matter if it's a luxury apartment or otherwise, there should be 20% that is always affordable housing. I don't think we need to stigmatize and put affordable housing all together. We can have mixed housing. The other thing that I'm incredibly supportive of is attainable housing. And right near David D. Alton, they're going to be doing, I think, 360 units. But people actually get to buy into it, so they get brought up economically. They get to live in the house, or the townhouse as it is, and then they can sell it back to attainable homes. And then they actually can get into the housing market. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I think it's incredibly important to try some different types of housing. One other thing I did want to mention is at the end of 17th Avenue at 60th Street, there's a really cool development going in, and they're bringing kind of a model up from the US, and what they're doing is, it is affordable housing, but they're actually doing it to create a community. So say, for instance, you're a gardener. If you do some gardening, you're going to get a percentage off your rent. If you are someone who can take people to doctor's appointments, you're going to get something off your rent. So I think that's a really creative and, yes.
She was getting ready to lunge. All right, and the next speaker will be Ms. Ortman.
So, well, first things first, we need to reverse blanket rezoning. There has been so much housing built, unaffordable housing built in the name of affordable housing. It's a sham, well, everybody knows it. So anyway, let's reverse that, thank you. Blanket rezoning has to go. Now, with the affordable units, we need to figure out, are we talking about rental or to own? Which one, what are we talking about here? So the inventory, when it comes to rent, the inventory and the management are the issues. And to own is inventory. There is, Rihanna is right, so it's about, 3% of affordable housing that got built, managed to, exactly. Well, thanks to the council that was actually doing that. But anyway, so reverse blanket rezoning, revisit development, and actually start looking after people as opposed to developers. Thank you.
Thank you. And adding cleanup on this question is Mr. Gar on affordable housing.
So for 90 seconds.
We need to build a city that everyone can afford, whether to buy or rent. Affordability has gone out of hand when you see somebody fighting just to stay in the community that they live in. We see blanket rezoning is not just a policy, but it's a nightmare in Ward 9. When you see someone that renting and now they have to move out because that house is sold and now is getting built right up to 8 plexes. Now the ripple effect on that is that person is not even getting the same house that they will rent. The rent goes from $1,500 to $2,000. The basement that everybody could afford, now it becomes a nightmare. I walked into one of the houses, a duplex that were done, and I asked for the price range. It was $7,765, closer to $800,000, just off 43rd Street. So I asked the gentleman, I said, who is going to buy this house? He said, yeah, there is a buyers, and I said, well, I can afford it. The answer was very simple. It's you need to find somewhere else. I think that's the issue of this election, is that we shouldn't be forced to live or fight and get nightmares to move out. We can build those houses that every Calgarian can afford. I know how to do it. I have a plan, and I'm hoping to bring those policies. That would be a win-win. A senior does not have to live a house that they've been there. Even seniors right now are getting forced. You see somebody coming, they're like, I want to buy your house. And they're like, I don't want to sell, then I want to buy more. It becomes not even housing issues, it becomes trading it like a cars. We need to build back the community that belongs to everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. All right. Folks, we're almost at the end. We're almost there. I'm gonna ask you just to take a deep breath. Shake it out.
Is this the final?
There is gonna be this, and depending on how quickly you answer, there may be another. So, I love this question submitted from the audience because it is hyper-local. It is very specific to this ward. And I'm gonna read it verbatim. Ward 9 is cut in two, the Dover and Erin Woodside, by a railroad track. What are your plans to make these crossings more pedestrian, transit, and cyclist friendly? And that was submitted by Tudor. So, the first to speak on this question will be Ms. Kara McSweeney.
Thank you. I believe that's already happening. The CN line actually that goes up into Pembroke Meadows, there is actually, I believe, long time ago was involved in some design of it actually being a pedestrian corridor because they are considering closing that. So I think that that would make a huge difference. I think we can do some things that are really interesting with our rail lines, but certainly they are not pedestrian friendly. A lot of them aren't safe. But if, you know, we do need to move goods, so some of them do have to stay, but I am aware that CN is, I think, folding theirs up. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Next is going to be Gar. Gar, we don't like getting hit by trains. What can we do about it?
Yeah, I think the issues of trains, we saw it also on the 36, where it becomes the infrastructure and the design. For example, the accidents that are happening anywhere from Marlborough to Franklin. When we look into this, also it reminds me the railroad on this side. When I got my bike the second day I came to Canada, and actually I got it from my neighbor, just like, here's your bike. That bike got me to learn about crossing the train, and every time seeing it also, the danger that comes with it. I think we have to go back and look into a safer, stronger communities that connect, and we can make something cool that becomes pedestrian friendly, but also connects the neighborhoods. Ward 9 is actually a divided ward, but full of strength, and we could unite them in so many ways, starting by all these safety measurements. And it falls under traffic improvement on my policy.
Thank you very much, sir. Next to speak on the same question, Ms. Ortman. Train tracks and crossings, what are we going to do?
Gaga, thank you for bringing up unity of the Ward 9 because we are so disjoint. There are 17 communities, and well, I didn't know that was an issue, well, just a little bit. But anyway, one point on my platform is to unite Ward 9, get all community associations to work together and share resources, learn by example, and address issues. Because somebody in Bridgeland, for example, would not know this is an issue, right? I believe in unity and in getting solutions together, be it building a bridge. What's the problem with that? We can do that. And if it's to save lives, then that's absolutely priority number one, and every resource should go to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I assure you this is a coincidence. It's not planned that way, but the next person to speak will be Mr. Clark.
Okay. I think this, what this highlights is, you know, we've got a growing population in this city, and you know, the way in which we do things, the amount of people walking or cycling or driving is all increasing in major ways. And so it's really important that we visit our crossings, our connection points, and make sure that these spaces are serving us well. I think the point has been made, obviously. Let's be creative. Let's make safe crossings for folks. As it relates to, you know, Deerfoot Trail as an example, another great dividing feature of Ward 9. I think we have the opportunity to be the ward that sort of breaks that barrier down. I think we often, over the course of this year, I've heard folks say, you know, talk about how most of Ward 9 is here on the east side, very little of it's on the west, and how divisive that can feel. I think it's really important that we work to break down the physical barrier with connection points. I think it'll help us build that interconnectivity amongst our communities that we're hoping to achieve.
Thank you. Next to speak on the same subject will be Ms. Perringau-Tube.
safety related regarding about our road rail. The equipment that using for the rail supposed to be always check and maintenance is really important, and on that the malfunctions or any obstacle on a railroad to avoid the accident, car crossing pedestrians, and immediate actions to take this problem and the issue to avoid the accidental happen. And it's really important that we take care our railroads safely and safe to everyone who's crossing on this, and also the cars to be aware when there is a train coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next to speak on the same subject will be Mr. Din.
I thought there was like one fatality in 47 years.
So Ward 9 is a very interesting and complex ward. We got railroads all over. We got Deerfoot. So there's a lot of major transportation nodes, and in Inglewood, I didn't think people would want to live close to the railroad when those condos got built. They're getting built and just thriving, and it seems to be safe. And in Aaron Woods, the railroads are private, and they like to remind us that they were here first. So they need to be there. We're building around them, and so part of building by them, we have to be safe. We got to put our measures. We got safety measures, lights, all the things that keep us safe. Our kids, our families, our dogs, pets, animals, you name it. We need to make sure that we take the safety precautions.
Thank you, sir. And speaking last on the subject will be Ms. Kippers.
Thank you. So as a pedestrian who walks through these communities, a cyclist who frequently uses the paths, as well as transit heading downtown, I think our connection heading west into downtown is pretty good, but there are places that need some investment. For example, heading from Dover east into Aaron Woods, that crosswalk that goes over the train tracks is like going over a bunch of bumps. It's very uneven. There are also other areas where we can just ensure that we're re-leveling it to ensure that that path is smooth for cyclists, but also those in wheelchairs or e-bikes or electronic wheelchairs. Also, better lighting in those crosswalks as well as the pathways. Also, I'm thinking of Barlow Trail along 50th, I think, where a lot of our trucks, I'm going to add, where a lot of our trucks are moving goods out. I added that, sorry. There's an issue for pedestrian safety there. We need to add more lighting to ensure that our trucks are not being slowed down and they can get their delivery on time. And also at transit station, increasing the bike locks and making sure that they're actually safe and secure, as well as addressing safety issues at transit stations like Franklin. If we put investment into these to ensure that that is a space that can be well used, that's well lit. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answers on that. Before we move on, does anybody have a burning need to say any more about this issue? All right. Okay, folks.
No, we got one.
We got
got
one.
one.
We got one way down there?
Yes.
All right. Gonna make me work for it.
Let's go.
I'll try, because this is my experience when I'm crossing on a railroad. When I was riding my bike, my tire come first before me. So I want to make it sure that this is not going to happen to any of us, because we need safety roads where we can enjoy our roads to be using in our bikes, cars, or anything. Especially the children, not to tip over. If it happened to me, it means it's gonna happen to anyone. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And as a reminder, if that does happen to you, you don't call the city about wait times in the hospital. That's the province. So thank you to the audience for your questions. Obviously, we weren't able to get to everybody's question, but I understand the candidates will be happy after the formal part of the evening to answer questions that you might have, that sort of thing, so please do stick around. We're going to now move to the closing statements from each candidate, a maximum of 1 minute, done in the reverse order of the opening statements. Okay. I'd remind the candidates you can't use your coins to extend your time on the closing statement. So if you happen to have a surplus, well done. Please bring those budgeting skills with you to City Hall. So the first to give a closing statement will be Mr. Gar for 1 minute.
You can't.
Can't use
You can't.
It's still only a minute, but thanks for the
Give me
chocolate.
a try. Well, Ward 9 has given me an opportunity to be who I am today, and that got me every day 18 years ago to serve it. Every day I wake up with my family with pride and support, but those opportunities are fading away when you have the families that are fighting just to stay, fighting just to have the opportunity to have their voice heard. For the past 15 years, that's exactly what Ward 9 has gone through. I'm hoping to bring this opportunity and to bring Ward 9 Council voice on the table. That starts from bringing the city back to the community and also doing something called community conversation with the councillor. These shouldn't happen when there's a problem. This should be an existing part of the community. The councillor is part of the community, so their office. If I get elected, I would like to see those things happen. If you want something done, Gargar's the one.
Wow.
All right, thank you for that. That rhymes, that's awesome. All right, next to speak with a closing statement of 1 minute will be Mr. Din when I get down there.
All right, so here we are, everyone, the closing statement. So my message is to you, Ward 9. I really believe that a lot of the candidates, we're going to be talking about a lot of the same things, but I really believe that it's going to come down to experience, character. You know, what have you done, and where have you been in this community? And I've been here with my experience. I believe that I can best serve the community with my private sector experience, and as you know, being a president of a community association, having experience in governance and board, being on the boards. I have a surplus today, and I think that's the. I'm going to get my point across, but I'm going to have a surplus, and that's what I want to do to deliver for Ward 9 is you know, get the job done, but also get the best value. And so again, my name is Tony Din. I hope that you would vote for me for this election. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, next to speak for 60 seconds will be Marina Workman.
Again, I'd like to thank everybody for dealing with us here. I know it's not, you know, it takes a bit of patience, but what I hear when I door knock, when I talk to residents, what I hear is one thing: the trust is broken between residents and the council and the city hall. People are frustrated with costly extras, while basics like a right to own home and safety and safe roads are left behind. That's why my campaign is grounded on getting back the basics. 30 seconds, perfect, okay. So as I mentioned, I'm not waiting for the council job to get it. I'm already doing the work. I'm working with 5 communities on the issues. I have proven that I stand by the residents, and I get results. I work with the residents, I help, and that will never change. My doors are always open for you, and we will get things done in a partnership you can trust. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And now we're going to hear from the best mustache in municipal politics, Mr. Clark.
I'm glad you didn't say that.
Thank you, folks. Harrison Clark, your independent candidate. I've spent the last year of my life getting to know the communities here. I think it's important to say that I think I've stepped the furthest outside of my niche within these communities. I realize my life is representative in another part of this ward, and I've I knew that, and so I stepped forward to get to know more of what I didn't know. I'm the only candidate that's put forward a strategic plan specific to Ward 9, highlighting a number of the things that we talked about tonight and other things that I've heard on the doors. I think it's really important that we don't simply fall for the "I'll fight for you, I'll be your voice at City Hall." Where's the accountability? Let's put it into writing, let's make it real. You deserve better than that, and it is available. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next to speak will be Ms. Kippers.
So I'm Ariana Kippers, and I'm asking for your vote on October 20th for Ward 9 City Councillor. As I said, I live here with you. I experience all the things you do, and I want to ensure that our next councillor understands these issues and has it at the forefront of their mind every day. I have taken the time to learn what the concerns are in my community. I have worked my way up to helping community through the community association, through grassroots organizations, and I went to the city to understand how things were done. I went to learn, and I learned a lot, and I was quite disappointed in our current representation. And I'm running because I know how to get things done. I've fixed many things for my neighbors here that were not getting resolved, and I know of the issues. And if you elect me, it's not going to take me 2 years to learn what this job is about or what the wards are about. I already know, and I'm going to hit the ground running because you deserve it, and I am here for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next to speak will be Ms. Carol McSweeney.
Thank you. I just wanted to outline some of the things that I'm proposing if I'm elected as your councillor. I think we need to be responsible and accountable to the citizens. We need to run an efficient and effective city. The council is actually, administration is actually thinking that they're going to have 5.4% increase in tax, and that's just not going to happen if I'm around. Getting back to basics, also municipal infrastructure throughout the whole ward needs to be a priority, and public safety is a fundamental responsibility, and that means that we need to invest in our protective services, the police, fire bylaw, and peace officers, and also transit safety. We need to repeal blanket zoning, and it may work in some areas, but it's not smart and respectable and growth. And what's happening is we're actually getting rid of the tree canopy, we're making neighbors pit against each other, and we need to do something that is a lot more fitting.
Thank you.
Thank you. And last to speak will be Ms. Perrin-Gaudu.
Thank you. I'm Shirley Formodo, running for the ward councillor. If I got elected, I will serve with honesty, transparency, and dedication. Your concerns are my concern. Your problem is also my problem. I will work day by day to implement practical solutions, ensure progress, and make real difference in the community. I cannot promise to fix everything over the night, but I will guarantee consistent actions and improvement. On October 20, remember, your vote is important. Your future is in your hands. Together, we can build a stronger, trustworthy, and more caring community. Vote smart, vote real actions for your community. Thank you.
All right. Thank you again to all of our candidates. I'm sure you've given us all a lot to think about, particularly those undecided voters. As my treat to you, happy Halloween, you can actually keep your votes. You've earned it. Most importantly, thank you to all of you, the people in attendance and watching on the live stream, for your participation in tonight's forum. Participatory democracy only works when people actually participate. And your efforts to cast an informed ballot in this election show that you take this responsibility seriously. Please note the advanced polls are open from October 6th until October 11th. Election day voting is open on October 20th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And because of recent changes, we may not know who the winners are that night. So don't panic, but do vote. More information on where and when to vote can be found at electionscalgary.ca. If you have any further questions for our candidates, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to speak with you after the forum ends, which it's going to do right now. So thank you to our candidates and their teams, to our volunteers, to all of you. I've been Joey Oberhofer, and please remember, if you enjoy your freedom, thank a veteran.
Yes.
Is Lorraine in the audience?